going to talk to you about the concept of flow. Flow is a concept in the field of positive psychology, which is an area of psychology focused on what makes humans thrive and how can we help humans obtain greater satisfaction with life and a sense of well-being. So flow itself is defined as the state of being in which a person becomes fully involved and engaged in the present time by some interesting, challenging, and intrinsically rewarding activity. It's a concept that was generated by Mahai Csikszentmihalyi when he was working in this field of positive psychology and found there was a particular subjective experience that people would use a lot of the same phrases to describe. Now, what are those phrases that became the core of this concept of flow? Well, one is the idea that individuals, when they were in this state, would become less self-aware. They would also lose all track of time. They would have very deep level of concentration. And the key feature is that they would experience the activity as intrinsically rewarding. So this is a very positive idea. So what are the conditions under which flow occurs? Well, it turns out it's a match between their challenges and skills. So in this figure here, you can see we have challenges going up the vertical axis and skills going across the horizontal axis. Now, if something is very difficult and well beyond your skill level, then you're going to experience anxiety about it. Comparably, if something is not very challenging and well below your skill level, then you're going to experience a lot of boredom. But as you can see in this diagram, there's this perfect channel between challenges and skill level where they align, and this is when flow occurs. And it becomes a positive emotional experience and can promote goal attainment and achievement for the individuals who are experiencing it. Now, this is quite a simple model. So it doesn't fully encapsulate everything that's involved in flow. So a new model was created, which you can see here. Again, we have challenges going up the vertical axis and skills going across the horizontal axis. But rather than just having that channel going across the middle, we have many different sections to this particular diagram that cover all of the subjective human experiences. Now, the interesting thing shown in this model is that flow occurs in the top right component. And this is where the challenges are above what individuals would typically experience in their daily life. And the skill requirement is also above what individuals would typically experience in their daily life. And this seems to be one of the keys to experiencing flow. You have to have a greater level of challenge than is typical for you and a greater level of skill requirement than is typical for you. This involves skill development and what we would call skill stretching. Another component of this particular diagram are these concentric circles, which recognizes that sometimes flow is a sort of lighter flow experience that may not have all of the components, and the farthest concentric circle occurs when flow is a deep flow experience and has all of those different components of flow occurring in the subjective experience. Now, does everyone find flow? No. About 20% of individuals surveyed say they experience flow up to several times a day. So they're having a lot of flow experiences. But 15% of those who are surveyed never experience flow at all. So there seems to be a broad range in terms of personal flow experiences. So what are the characteristics of those individuals who experience flow? Well, they tend to be really persistent, they tend to seek out novelty, and have the ability to transcend themselves. And we would also call these people autotelic individuals, a term coined by Csikszentmihalyi. Auto coming from self, and telic coming from goal. So these are individuals who are being internally driven to reach goals. So what are the benefits of flow? Why should we seek out opportunities to have this experience? Well, it's overwhelmingly positive, and that positive component increases persistence in the activities that individuals are engaged in. And persisting at challenging tasks is associated with other positive experiences like self-growth and increases in self-esteem. And we find the impacts of this in important aspects of people's lives, such that students who experience flow as part of their studies have better educational outcomes. So cultivating flow in a particular activity is likely to benefit an individual. So what is the message from all of this study of flow? Well, the idea is that a good life is one that is completely characterized by absorption in what one does.